Hi, this is Ben from Caden. Welcome to our new 2017 production facility. Today we're going to run through some pretty cool stuff. We've got our new high-temp molds we just had cut. Got some rim profiles here. Tubular T700 getting spun on the in-house carbon loom behind me there. We've got our new clincher hook technology, especially the former and the bladder system we'll go through in a sec. Got an uncured rim. I'll place this in the mold and give you a little bit more detail around how that's formed and why we're using these technologies. One of the big things I want to show you is the reason we cut new molds. It's the new high-temp resin system. You've probably never seen resin like this before. This is the normal resin that most companies use, and I'll show you both of those in a bit more detail with the rim while we've got it on there. And some of the carbons and types of carbon and layup scheduling that we're using. We've also got a bit of a sneak peek at this rim here, which forms part of the new Caden disc. So I won't show you too much of this one, but I'll give you a little look at it. So first thing, let's have a look at a piece of cut rim here. This is our new 81mm. As you can see here, this little section here, that's the preformer that is removed from the rim. Now, you may wonder what's going on here. You're not going to be able to get a tire in there or a tube. This is actually cut out, and then you have the carbon fibre fully in one piece around to the edge of the cut. So the fibres aren't broken or bent or distorted. They flow around right to the edge of the clincher formation, which allows us to reduce weight. And this is probably the most critical area of the rim to reduce the weight in, because it's the outermost circumference. So rotational mass, as some of you may know, weighs 3 to 4 times stationary mass. So we've really got a lot more strength and weight reduction here on the rim. The stiffness of this new moulding technology is amazing. It's a lot stiffer. If you've got another rim here, you can see some of the flex on that. So yeah, we've really lightened and stiffened the rims 2017. That's a lot due to using T700. Now, I know you hear that bandied around a lot. A lot of companies say they use it and they don't. As you can see here by the boxes, made in Japan, it's the real deal. The reason they've got an in-house carbon loom and they're looming this right here and now, most people buy in their pre-preg, just so you know, is this. This high-temp resin, if they were to use a pre-preg factory, they would lose their IP around it. They've worked hard and long to get this right, and that's why they have to have their own in-house loom, so they can keep that technology in-house. They're also big enough to do that. This factory makes wheels for some of the biggest companies in the world. They've got a storage facility upstairs. It's like Willy Wonka land for carbon wheels. There are literally thousands and thousands of rims up there. So the resin here, you can see it's a different colour. Now this is normal resin. It's still 180. It's still pretty high, so it's good resin. But yeah, when you go to high-temp resins like this, you need to have totally different moulding technology. That's why I had to redo all my moulds. I didn't want to redo all my moulds. I'm happy with the shape I've already got. It wasn't really shape changes, although I made a couple. While you're changing moulds, you can obviously tweak a little and make some improvements. But the main reason I did it was for the resin system upgrade and that clincher hook formation. So we've effectively increased the lifespan of the wheel, we've lightened it and made it a lot higher temp resistant. So braking is no issue. Weight dropped probably at the ground close to 80 grams for a pair, maybe even a bit over. And I'll show you how we're doing that. So this is an uncured rim. I showed you the clincher hook before. You can see that's around the outside here. You've got the sidewalls and the spoke bed of the rim. You've also got a carbon rod that follows the whole way around here. This adds a lot of strength into the outer section of the wheel and also joins it with the sidewall. Very important part of the rim here. If you didn't have this, you would get a lot of breakages around here. So that adds a lot of strength. Now, this obviously gets handmade. Each one of these rims is handmade. The layup schedule, I've worked long and hard on the layup schedules to get the weight down, but still make it very safe. So once you've got the rim, it goes into the mould as such. You've got the end formers. These are just flat. As you'll see here, that effectively is going on there. So these get put around the edge of the mould and four of them form the circle, which, let me put that back, it's still hot by the way, I didn't realise they'd be that hot, which then make the rim dead round. So you really have to get your tolerances right in high temp molds because metal expands and starts to move under really high heats. When you've got the carbon fibre part in the rim, carbon expands and until it's cured, and then it doesn't contract. Steel expands and contracts, so you have to actually make these molds smaller than you want the finished part to be, which is another reason I had to redo the molds, because the ODs have to be smaller to accommodate the heat expansion of the metal. So, if we go here, these are some tubular shapes. You can see on a tubular, unlike a clincher, you don't have as much material here as you do here. That's why tubulars can be a lot lighter than a clincher. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know what a tubular's benefits are, but it reduces the mass on the outer section of the wheel, allowing that critical part to be a lot lighter. So using the same technology for all our tubulars as well. Now, we've got some, I have some of the carbons here. So this is a UD, it's 2 layers run at 45 across each other. As you see, you can't really break the carbon because the fibres are opposing each other. This is a 3K weave, you can't break that either. But when you get UD, this is straight UD, just pull it off the backing, you can separate that, as you can see, quite easily. Now this is where layup schedules come in. Once you put a piece of that opposing the other side, then it'll separate to a point. Once it gets to that other part of UD, you can no longer break it. So layup scheduling is really critical in a wheel. I've got a boat background, windsurfer, wakeboard, etc. Fiberglass is really the same material, so it's not as strong, but layup scheduling in a boat is really complicated and it makes a wheel almost look easy, which is great because I've got a lot of history and understanding around that, and it's really been good to work with these guys to make sure that that's moving forward and we've got the best layup that we can provide. So I'll show you one last thing. The formation here, that's an EPS core. That's mainly just to keep the shape when it's building. As this cooks, this totally disappears. It pretty much just melts away, and then they shatter it inside the rim after, and then they can remove it all. The bladder gets twisted out of the rim, so that is all removed, so that weight's gone. You can see how even this formation is, the wrapping around. There's over about 50 metres of carbon tape wrapped around this. Now they've got patented machines they use to do that. I'm not allowed to film that. Pretty much not allowed to film anywhere but here. I'm amazed they've given me all these pieces to show you, which is great. So once that is wrapped, you can keep control of this area really uniform because this changes the shape. If you have a thicker section here or here, it moves the rim and they don't stay as true or as round. Whereas this is really round, and you've got compression on the fibre before you even cure it, which is critical to remove air bubbles, keep the fibres close together, so the curing process is a lot more even. Last thing I'll show you, I'll give you a quick look. Now this is the Ugly Duckling, its workshop name is. This is going to form the rim section of the new disc wheel. The new disc wheel is going to be in low 800 grams, which is super competitive. There's only one release disc wheel. It's not a custom wheel that's under 800 grams, about 785, 790 grams. So we'll be close to that. We'll be in the very low 800s. I can't wait for this to be released. It's been 2 years work, so apologies. I know I've been speaking to people about my disc wheel for a long time. But yeah, soon enough we will have the disc wheel ready, as well as our 2017 range. And yeah, really looking forward to showing you guys what we've got to offer. And I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, obviously www.carbonbikewheels.com.au. Feel free to call me, email, and yeah, hopefully can answer some more questions for you. Thank you very much.